In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 NBA games happening on November 3rd, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Milwaukee Bucks versus Indiana Pacers. Milwaukee, with a record of 4 wins and 2 losses, will look to seize the series lead when they travel to Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Monday night to face Indiana. The Bucks are coming off a narrow 135-133 defeat to Sacramento, despite being favored by 6.5 points. Meanwhile, the Pacers are riding a 114-109 win over Golden State after entering that game as 11-point underdogs. Indiana has taken 6 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. Milwaukee continues to play without Kevin Porter Jr., while Indiana remains short-handed, having ruled out Andrew Nembhard, Tyrese Halliburton, TJ McConnell, and Benedict Mathurin once again. The Bucks have been one of the league's hottest teams, showing strong form before falling just short against the Kings in a tough loss on Saturday. In contrast, the Pacers had been in a prolonged slump before their unexpected win over the Warriors, sparked by a strong performance from Aaron Nesmith. Milwaukee has won 4 of its 6 games this season, while Indiana has dropped 5 of its 6. The Bucks hold a clear offensive advantage, averaging more than 120 points per game and converting better than 52% of their shots. The Pacers, on the other hand, have managed to make only 40% of theirs. Milwaukee also moves the ball well and dominates the boards, pulling down more than 11 offensive rebounds per game on the road, giving them extra scoring chances. Their discipline in ball control limits turnovers, reducing easy opportunities for opponents. Indiana's defense has been inconsistent, giving up more than 125 points per game at home, a weakness that Milwaukee's offense can exploit. The Pacers should benefit from improved morale after their first win of the season, but their lengthy injury report continues to be a concern. It is difficult to back Indiana until they regain some health. The Bucks, on the other hand, are healthy, playing with confidence, and hold a 5-1 record against the spread this season. They also have added motivation, remembering the playoff series when the Pacers sent them home. While Indiana has the potential to surprise at home if they replicate their last outing, consistency still leans toward Milwaukee. Expect Giannis Antetokounmpo to shoulder the scoring load, with added help from Miles Turner, who should be eager to perform against his former team. As our first pick for this matchup, the Milwaukee Bucks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Milwaukee has played over the total in 5 of its 6 games. The Bucks average 123.7 points per game and operate at the league's 16th fastest pace, with roughly 104.6 possessions per contest. They now face an Indiana squad allowing 126 points per game at home. The Pacers, averaging 112.5 points per game, play at the second fastest pace with about 109 possessions per contest, and meet a Milwaukee defense giving up 117 points per game on the road. 3 of the last 4 meetings between these teams have gone over the total, a sign that both sides tend to push the pace and score efficiently when facing each other. Given the current form and style of both teams, the conditions point toward another high-scoring game. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Brooklyn Nets. The Minnesota Timberwolves and Brooklyn Nets face off Monday night in NBA action at the Barclays Center. Minnesota, holding a record of 3 wins and 3 losses straight up and 1 win with 5 losses against the spread, is coming off a 122-105 victory at Charlotte as 4.5-point favorites. Brooklyn, still searching for its first win at 0 wins and 6 losses straight up with 2 wins and 4 losses against the spread, was handed a 129-105 home defeat by the 76ers on Sunday evening. Minnesota continues to be without Anthony Edwards, while Brooklyn remains short on depth as Danny Wolf and Haywood Highsmith are still sidelined. The Timberwolves have yet to find their rhythm this season, but their convincing win over Charlotte on Saturday was an important confidence boost, driven by a strong showing from Julius Julius Randle. Brooklyn, by contrast, remains one of the league's coldest teams with 6 consecutive losses, 4 of them by double digits. The Timberwolves swept both meetings with the Nets last season, both straight up and against the spread, winning by an average margin of 20.5 points per game. Their most recent win, earned without Edwards, showed the team's ability to stay composed and productive in the absence of its star player. Randle has stepped into the lead role with authority, and opposing defenses have struggled to contain him. Minnesota has also been effective on the boards this season, which could be another advantage against a Brooklyn team allowing opponents to collect an average of 42.8 rebounds per game. Expect the Timberwolves to make that a key focus area. Historically, Minnesota has the edge as well, going 6 wins and 4 losses straight up and 7 wins with 3 losses against the spread in their last 10 meetings with the Nets. Minnesota is not playing its best basketball right now, reflected in its 1-5 record against the spread. Missing Edwards is a challenge, but Brooklyn's situation appears more dire. The Nets' ownership has already acknowledged that this season will focus on rebuilding, and their performances so far have aligned with that plan. Playing the second game of a back-to-back does them no favors either. The Timberwolves are not at full strength, yet their composed and efficient win over Charlotte showed their ability to capitalize on a struggling opponent. Brooklyn's roster lacks scoring depth, and fatigue could set in quickly. Minnesota should find enough control in this matchup to take advantage of a tired Nets team that appears to be treading water early in the season. The betting line might feel slightly wide, but in this setting, one side still stands out clearly. As our first pick for this matchup, the Minnesota Timberwolves to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In last season's 2 meetings, the Timberwolves and Nets averaged a combined 201.5 points per game. Both offenses currently sit in the league's lower third in scoring output and are shooting below 49% from the field. Pace metrics tell a similar story. Minnesota ranks 22nd, averaging 99.8 possessions per 48 minutes, while Brooklyn ranks 25th, averaging 98.6 possessions per 48 minutes, according to dunksandthrees.com. The Timberwolves have leaned heavily on Randle for offense, while the Nets lack consistent scoring options beyond Thomas and Porter. Their tempo and shot profiles suggest a slower, grinded-out type of matchup. Recent history backs that up, with the under hitting in 8 of the last 10 meetings between these teams. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz versus Boston Celtics. The Utah Jazz traveled to TD Garden on Monday night to face the Boston Celtics in what should be a telling early season matchup. Utah enters the contest with a record of 2 wins and 3 losses overall and 0 wins with 2 losses on the road. Boston holds a record of 3 wins and 4 losses, including 1 win and 2 losses at home. The Jazz have dropped their last 2 games, while the Celtics are coming off a lopsided home loss to Houston that halted their momentum. Utah remains without Walker Kessler, Isaiah Collier, and George Niang, while Boston continues to play without Jason Tatum, who is still sidelined. The Jazz started the season with promise but have cooled considerably, struggling in a blowout loss to a Charlotte team that has been searching for form. The Celtics, on the other hand, had begun to find their footing with 3 straight wins before being thoroughly outplayed by the Rockets on Saturday. Utah enters this game on a 3-game skid but will have an opportunity to steady themselves against a Boston team still working through lineup adjustments. Lauri Markkanen has been a consistent bright spot, putting up an impressive average of 33.8 points per game. His versatility and size make him a tough cover for Boston's defenders, particularly Derek White and Jaylen Brown, who may find themselves overmatched physically. Markkanen's scoring gravity often opens the floor for teammates, giving Utah's other starters chances to contribute more efficiently. Boston continues to lean heavily on its perimeter shooting despite lacking the ideal personnel for that approach. Neemias Queta has been a significant downgrade from Al Horford in that area, and the absence of Tatum at the power forward spot has been felt across the offense. The Celtics are hitting just 32.6% of their attempts from beyond the arc, a rate that limits their ability to pull away in games. Poor shooting nights from deep have been a recurring problem and could keep this game closer than expected. Meanwhile, Utah has excelled at generating second-chance opportunities and currently leads the league in points from offensive rebounds. The Jazz have clear weaknesses on both sides of the ball and are finishing a back-to-back, so it is understandable that Boston enters as a heavy favorite. Still, the Celtics have not looked like their usual selves this season. They are still adjusting to a reworked roster, and their offense often stalls for long stretches. Despite losing several games, the Jazz have been competitive, covering the spread in 4 of their 6 contests so far. Considering Boston's struggles from deep and their issues defending second-chance opportunities, Utah should find enough possessions to keep the game from getting out of hand. As our first pick for this matchup, the Utah Jazz to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Utah has averaged only 100 points per game on the road, while Boston's tempo has slowed significantly without Tatum in the lineup. Both teams are leaning heavily on half-court sets, and neither has been consistent from three-point range. The Celtics' defense at home has shown improvement, generating turnovers and reducing opponents' transition looks. Utah's offense continues to rely on Markkanen for scoring, and with both Kessler and Collier sidelined, there is limited production coming off the bench. The Jazz will likely manage the clock carefully, trying to slow the game's pace and stay within reach. That approach, paired with Boston's slower style, favors a more controlled, lower-scoring matchup. Expect both sides to play deliberate basketball with the total score staying well below the high-scoring threshold. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Washington Wizards versus New York Knicks. 2 Eastern Conference teams meet on the hardwood in New York as the Washington Wizards take on the New York Knicks Monday night at Madison Square Garden. Washington comes into this matchup after a 125-94 loss to Orlando on Saturday, falling well short as 9-point underdogs in the second game of a back-to-back. New York, meanwhile, wrapped up a home-and-home set against the Bulls on Sunday after losing 135-125 on the road in Chicago Friday as 5-point favorites. In the all-time regular season series, the Knicks lead 186-136 and have claimed the last 9 meetings, including a 122-103 victory at home in their most recent clash on March 22nd. Washington may again be short on personnel with Chris Middleton listed as questionable, while New York enters this contest fully healthy with no injuries reported. The Wizards have been in a prolonged slump, struggling to find any rhythm, and their confidence took another hit after a lopsided loss to Orlando. The Knicks, in contrast, appear to be stabilizing, having notched a strong performance at home against a Chicago team that had been on a hot streak. The Wizards' offense has regressed sharply, and their defense has been equally problematic. The potential absence of Middleton would only add to their challenges. Washington holds a record of 1 win and 5 losses against the spread this season, signaling little value for bettors. Even with the Knicks playing on the second night of a back-to-back, the talent gap between these 2 squads remains evident. New York has dominated this matchup recently, winning 9 straight and covering the spread in 6 of those contests. The Knicks continue to show signs of being a well-coached, cohesive group that knows how to handle weaker opponents. Washington, by comparison, looks disorganized and inconsistent, often fading early when facing teams with depth and structure. The Knicks have a deeper bench, better perimeter shooting, and a more physical front-court presence, all of which should prove decisive. With a clean injury report and a favorable home setting, this is the kind of game the Knicks need to control if they plan to remain competitive in the playoff picture. As our first pick for this matchup, the New York Knicks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Washington entered Sunday having gone over the total in 4 of 6 games this season. The Wizards rank 22nd in scoring, 29th in offensive efficiency, 27th in defensive efficiency, and play at the second fastest pace in the league with 105.3 possessions per game. New York entered Sunday with the over-hitting in 3 of 5 contests. The Knicks rank 25th in scoring offense, 18th in both offensive and defensive efficiency, and 23rd in tempo with 98.8 possessions per game. Washington's defense has been porous, giving up at least 125 points in 4 consecutive games. The Knicks have hit or surpassed that total in 3 of the last 4 meetings between these teams, putting up 122 points in the other contest. With Washington ranking 28th in defensive rating this season, another high-scoring game would not be surprising. New York ranks 11th in offensive rating and has the weapons to exploit those weaknesses. Despite their defensive struggles, the Wizards' pace and transition play have been a relative strength. They are second in the league in pace and rank 5th in fast break points per game. The Knicks have struggled in transition defense, sitting in the league's bottom 10 for opponent fast break points allowed, giving Washington some room to push the tempo. Both teams also shoot the ball well from beyond the arc, landing in the top half of the league in three-point percentage. If both maintain that accuracy, the scoreboard should stay active throughout the night. The recent history supports that view, as the over has gone 3-0-1 in the last 4 matchups between these sides. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Dallas Mavericks versus Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets aim to extend their 3-game winning streak when they host the Dallas Mavericks at Toyota Center on Monday night. Dallas enters with a record of 2 wins and 4 losses after a 122-110 defeat against the Detroit Pistons in Mexico City, while Houston stands at 3 wins and 2 losses following a commanding 128-101 victory over the Boston Celtics. Dallas continues to battle through a long list of absences, with Derek Lively II, Dante Exum, Anthony Davis, and Kyrie Irving all ruled out. Houston will be without Dorian Finney-Smith, and Jabari Smith Jr. remains questionable. The Mavericks have struggled to find any consistency while dealing with this string of injuries. Even with a strong 31-point performance off the bench from Russell, they could not keep up with the Pistons on Saturday. In contrast, the Rockets are trending upward, having won 3 straight games in convincing fashion, including their blowout of an informed Celtics team over the weekend. It would be fair to say the Mavericks' start to the season has been rocky. Despite opening with 6 consecutive home games, they managed to win only 2 of them before heading to Houston for their first road contest. The loss of Anthony Davis to a calf injury has only deepened their problems, relying on a veteran Klay Thompson and a rookie point guard, Cooper Flagg, to carry the load in the absence of Davis and Irving puts immense pressure on a roster already stretched thin. The Rockets, meanwhile, have hit their stride. They have won 3 straight games, all by wide margins, averaging victories of 24.3 points over the Nets, Raptors, and Celtics. This recent run reflects a team that has found offensive rhythm and confidence early in the season. Kevin Durant continues to defy age, leading the team in scoring at 37 years old. While the absence of Fred VanVleet at point guard has been noticeable, the Rockets have managed to maintain ball movement and pace through strong playmaking across the roster. The current betting line for this matchup is significant, but that reflects the sharp contrast between these two teams. Dallas continues to pile up losses and remains difficult to back with confidence given their current form and injury list. Until they regain health, they will struggle to build cohesion. Houston, on the other hand, is coming off a strong week that included 3 wins and 3 covers. The Rockets' offense is humming, and that poses a serious problem for a Dallas team that cannot keep up on the scoreboard. While this is an in-state rivalry, the Mavericks are outmatched at the moment. Their depleted roster and lack of rhythm could make this contest lopsided quickly. The Rockets' advantage in health, form, and offensive efficiency makes them the clear favorite. As our first pick for this matchup, the Houston Rockets to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both teams have been trending toward high totals in the early part of the season. Houston's attack has been firing, averaging 127.8 points over its last 3 games while shooting 49.4% from the field. Dallas, though inconsistent, has scored at least 110 points in 4 of 6 games. Defensive depth has been an issue for both squads, with Dallas missing key interior players in Davis and Lively, which should give Houston plenty of space to operate in the paint. The Mavericks rank 5th in pace, preferring to push the ball and play fast, while Houston's offensive rhythm favors a similar up-tempo approach. These conditions point toward another fast-paced contest with plenty of scoring opportunities on both sides. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.